Hey everyone, coming to you to give you this last Monday's sermon reflection. It's a little late in the week for this. Somehow we missed this week. And so I wanted to reflect back on this past Sunday. We were in the Gospel of John exploring when Jesus says to disciples, I'm sending you another advocate. Another translation for this is counselor. Another translation is comforter. It's this word paraclete in Greek, and we use this word para in our own context here in the United States in educational settings. We have paraprofessionals who come alongside of a classroom or a teacher or a student or groups of students and are there alongside of them, and they're advocating, they're helping, they're supporting, they're pushing, they're advocating. They're sometimes the bouncer and protector for someone. They do all kinds of roles in the lives of students and educational settings, right? And our paraclete is in many ways the same idea, right? It is someone who plays all of these kinds of roles for us in our lives. It's someone who stands up for us, speaks on behalf of us, who whispers in our ear, giving us guidance and advice, who sometimes takes us by the face and looks us in the eyes and goes, stop going down this path, right? This paraclete is the Holy Spirit of God in our lives. And it's no coincidence that this text is what we sometimes use in our readings for the day and feast of Pentecost. Pentecost is when the Holy Spirit of God blows through the church. The disciples, over 100 of them, gathered in an upper room in Jerusalem, celebrating this Jewish feast and holiday with people from all over the world who have gathered for Pentecost in Jerusalem to come to the temple to celebrate this, what had become a very diverse faith in the first century. And the Spirit of God blows through the church and sends them out into the streets. This paraclete is pushing them and giving them the words to speak, and so much so that people hear the language of good news in a language that they can understand in their native tongue, friends. And Jesus says these words to the disciples in the Gospel of John: you are going to do the things that I have done. What? Jesus literally says this, you're going to be doing the things that I have done. I come from the Father, and you're going to be doing the things that I do. And then Jesus takes it one step further. And this is the step that I love, because it's people think this is heretical, right? And I said this in my sermon last Sunday. People think this is like crazy heresy, and yet to not believe Jesus is actually the heresy. Jesus says you're going to do greater things than these. You're going to do greater things than me. Right? You are going to continue to be on this planet, and you are going to continue to act like me. And since you are acting like me and I'm going to the Father, you're going to do greater things than me. And that's the whole point of Pentecost. That's the whole point of the Paraclete, the advocate, this Holy Spirit of God living and dwelling and moving in and around us, that as we go out into the world, we are doing the works of Jesus. And as we do those works, we end up doing more than what Jesus did in Jesus' 30 years here walking planet Earth. And Pentecost, the Spirit of God blows through the church, drives them out into the city, and they begin to do greater things than these. And it's this domino effect that comes down throughout history. It's a domino effect that you and I participate in. It's a domino effect that as we bump into other people, friends, as we fall into other people and places and circumstances, we are the Spirit and presence of God in those places with those people, participating in these works that are greater than these, as Jesus says. What might it mean this week, this day, this hour, this next minute for you to consider? What if in this next moment I'm going to do something like Jesus? What if by putting all of those strings of moments together, I end up doing greater things than Jesus? About 15 years ago, I was serving as the associate pastor at Columbine United Church. And in my first week there, the pastor, Reverend Dr. Steve Pooh Spencer, stood up and said, "We are going to feed 20,000 people." And immediately I thought, well, that's more people than Jesus fed. And that was Steve's point, that we are going to do greater things than these. We are going to do greater things than what Jesus did. We can feed 20,000 people or 200,000 people or 2 million people or even 2 billion people on the planet together, collectively, as the advocate, the paraclete works in us, through us, with us, pushing us, pulling us, breathing in and out for us. Friends, thanks for joining me for today's sermon reflection. Hope that you will join us here tomorrow for another video. Thanks, everyone.